And we shared that we had both made these pleas, and then we got the results, and we were like, all right, how are we going to pay it back, right? And so that's when we just started making it up.
Okay. Welcome to Down There, a podcast dedicated to pelvic health and wellness for men and women. Hello and welcome back to the podcast Down There. I am Laura McKaig, your host, and I would like to welcome back Steve Hentzen. Steve is chairman and the co-founder of the Prostate Network group. He's also a 15-year prostate cancer survivor and just a real passionate advocate for not only prostate cancer, but also cancer treatment, recovery afterwards for mainly men with all types of cancer. And what we're going to do today is kind of talk about this group called Prostate Network and the impact that it's had and continues to have in this area, not only this area, but outside of the Kansas City area as well. So, Steve, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you've done over the years. You've been involved with us.
Yes.
For what, 5, 6, 7 years?
At least 5 years.
Yeah. So I forget how many.
Years.
It's been a long time.
So, Steve and I met in a very interesting way. I had about a year before that, I was at a mastermind group, and I just felt, I want to work more with guys after their prostate cancer treatment because they have a lot of side effects of incontinence, pain sometimes, erectile dysfunction, etc. But I didn't really know as much about it. Now I really know I didn't know much about it. And I was trying to find a group in the Kansas City area that I could maybe talk to, listen in on, and just hear from the guys themselves about what do they need and what is their day-to-day life like. So I found this group. Somebody had recommended that I look you up. So I looked them up, and I just randomly showed up. Unannounced, didn't tell them who I was. With my husband, I just showed up, and that's where I met Steve and Caesar, who were at that time the founders.
Yeah, so we work hard we have our meetings once a month. First Wednesday every month, 6:30 p.m., in person, online.
Back then it was just in person,
It was,
right?
yeah, but that's what we are now. And so, but we put in, it's not just a random thing. We really do plan because there's some subjects that we want to get, the best people we can. And there's also voids out there. And they're so numerous. The things that guys need to know that don't know. And then there's some things that you can't stress enough, And so when I was going through my treatment, there was no concept of physical therapy. Nothing. And there was, and I didn't even think it was a thing. We started getting invited to just all sorts of places. Because if you've got men out there and you want to have somebody give a talk, we could be your choice. And that was one of the cases. And it was a church, and they had put together 3 speakers and had gathered up a really nice part of their congregation and had some nice food and had us all together. And this one lady was a physical therapist from Topeka, and she was not there to talk about prostate cancer or pelvic or anything. And so we had our nice thing, and she talked about her thing. I talked about my thing. I can't remember who else the other speaker were. And before it was over, we got a chance to sit and talk. And I asked her, I said, is there anything that could be done to help with the guys that have gone through prostate cancer treatments? Because I'm like, they're suffering. They have all these issues, and I'm not hearing anything. And she's like, there's one person I know. She knew somebody. She knew one. And so she had introduced me, and I had not met this person, but I had planned on at a future date. So we usually plan like 6 months ahead our meetings, who's going to talk, right? And so I had planned for the first ever
Yes.
The first ever. I'm not saying she was the first, but it was the first I had came across. And I've been doing this for like a decade or something.
Yeah.
Like at least a decade.
Right.
A decade
Yeah.
of holding meetings on prostate cancer, and nobody that did physical therapy had ever approached me.
Yeah.
So I have one lined up, and we're holding our meeting, and that meeting was not about physical therapy when you showed up.
Nope.
And you didn't fit in.
No.
You stuck out. So eventually, when we made our way around to you,
Legal.
you shared what you were there for. I was like, I scheduled this speakers wrong. There are 2 of them tonight, and you were just showed up.
Right.
Yeah. And so then we teamed you up, and you guys did a joint presentation, and that was the first one ever. That
was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I think about like how far we've came, because it is, we've seen people who provide care near and far start to offer this. We've seen, I have seen it commonplace for men to have already done it when I see them. And I also see the guys that have done it champion it for others. They when they hear other guys talk about, oh, I've got this going on, I've got that going on, they're like, have you tried physical therapy? And have you tried diet? Have you tried exercise? Have you tried physical therapy?
Yeah.
And if they haven't done it, we're like, well, you haven't tried. Our sympathy level for those who haven't tried is like here. Yeah. But now, the ones that have tried and they're still struggling, we feel a little sorry for them. But everybody's got it. Yeah. You've got to try, right? And because it can't solve everybody, but it can solve a lot, right? I don't know how many people come away with like just massively recovered.
Massively recovered. I would say probably 70-75%.
Wow.
And, that's what I do is mainly treatment for prostatectomy. After prostatectomy for incontinence is the main complaint that people have at first.
Yeah.
But we've also worked with people who have had radiation therapy and have bowel issues, or sometimes very unexpected pain that even their doctor said, oh, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be having this pain. It's like, well, I do. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. And I had one guy in 2 visits. His pain was 40% better.
That's just remarkable.
And he was contemplating suicide before that. So it's pretty serious. It's really serious. And for the guys who don't, we say reach their goals, they still find that they've improved. I cannot think of anyone who hasn't had any improvement whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, because they've heard that you need to do a Kegel or
right. Yeah.
And they might even
we should have a whole podcast about that.
Right, but they might have heard, or somebody might have told them, but how many guys could figure out how to do a Kegel properly on their own?
Less than 20%.
Right. So literally 80% of the people
I would
have to get help. 90%, and then 70% get improved outcomes.
Yeah.
So like the number should be 100% that get treated.
And it's way more than Kegels.
Is way more.
Way more than Kegels.
But that's the only thing that ever had been any talk of for the first decade.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like really proud. Yeah. We have changed. We can't change the whole world, but we have changed.
That's awesome.
At least the people in our area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even for guys who are on different types of treatments, like the androgen deprivation therapy, physical therapy, exercise therapy is amazing. And I know you guys talk about it, and I feel that, you fill a void that I can't. And it's that support. I know you and Caesar started this because you had gone through it, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us how that all came about. How did the Prostate Network start?
Well, you can hear it in Caesar and mine's voice if you go to our podcast, episode 1.
Okay.
And you can hear the whole story. But in a nutshell, I met my best friend, and didn't have anything in common with the guy. Didn't know I was going to be best friends with him. We both got diagnosed the same day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we both,
Wow.
or at least it was very, very close. We were both in the ultimate dark place. We were scared. We didn't know anything. And we met. And what happened was we thought we were gone. Both of us thought we were gone. And we sat there and pleaded, this can't be it. This can't be it. And then about a year in, we were still here. And we had been a real help to each other. Mm-hmm. And we shared that we had both made these pleas, and then we got the results, and we were like, all right, how are we going to pay it back, right? And so that's when we just started making it up.
Okay, yeah.
Because we were like, yeah, there's probably a few oars out there. Mm-hmm. Well, holy cow, there was a few more out there. Uh-huh. Yeah.
How did you find them?
Well, we started one of the first meetings was in a library.
Okay.
And we had our little thing on the library on 95th Street out by Oak Park Mall. There was a library.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know how long, it might have been a week or two, something was sitting on a sign on a table. And we showed up, and we'd actually had a few guys that we thought would come. But I forgot to email them. Mm-hmm. And so we were there, and a doctor, I don't know how he knew about a doctor been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he showed up at our meeting, and we sat there and we talked to this guy.
That's great.
And Caesar was like, "What happened to the other guy?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "I don't know." I went home and I looked, and it was in my draft box. Yeah, that's the early days. Yeah. So how do people know about us now? I mean, we're really unique. We didn't set off to do what it turned into. We just wanted to create a space for them. Mm-hmm. And people wanted us. Well, we weren't selling anything. Yeah. We've never asked anybody for anything. And people just want to, we know where they are, like churches, cancer centers. So once we create a little something, it sort of just kind of grew naturally. There's nobody that's against us. There's no competition. Yeah. There's nobody else that does anything. Right. Never has been. So we've got the market cornered by sheer lack of anybody else doing anything.
You always say it's a club that nobody wants to be part of.
Right. But we're glad they get connected. Yeah. Right. And I think they all feel that way. So I don't know what percent of men will want to come talk about it, but it's low. Mm-hmm. It's low. But I am 100% sure all of them are glad it's there. And a lot of them will get what they need via a phone call, via an email. Mm-hmm. The podcast was a great way. I was a survivor who started us doing podcasting, almost a decade ago.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What's the name of your podcast?
Prostate Network is the name of everything.
Prostate Network, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are good podcasts.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Buck, he came to me. He had gotten help at one of our meetings. Okay. And he came to me and he said, "Man, this is great content you have, but there's nobody getting it." Okay. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "I had this idea." And his idea was to podcast. And I said, "What is that?" I literally never heard
of a podcast.
No.
Okay.
It was like a decade ago. I don't know when you started, but it was before I had. Yeah. And he had a background in radio. And so just like the meetings, we kind of organized them and set them up. And he had this soundboard. And he had microphones. Mm-hmm. And I made dinner. Okay. And we had it in my kitchen. And we would record. And then he would edit and work on them. Mm-hmm. And he worked really hard. Like he worked so hard.
Wow.
And we did a lot of good with him. And sadly, he did not beat his prostate cancer. And we were like, there was some special episodes that had been recorded that hadn't gotten edited.
Okay.
I had one in particular that we really wanted to get out. And then his partner and I both like basically stayed up all night trying to get this thing finally published. And I never could figure out how the editing was going to work, but I did finally get to where it could maybe like publish. And it was the kind I'd given up. And then I woke up and there was the light to publish came on my computer. And I hit publish, and it published this episode completely unedited with all our outtake. It was the favorite one of everybody's. They didn't want the edited stuff. People wanted the raw
stuff.
Yeah.
Real talk.
So it's out there.
Wow.
And I love how we got like Caesar's voice and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I know.
That's great.
Fox voice and all that. All these guys.
Yeah. So how far reaching is it just for guys in the Kansas City area? Can guys from other states join, like at the meetings?
Yeah, so
how does that work?
Early on, it was an in-person only. There was no concept of online, but there was a desire. We knew that there was guys in rural areas.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not familiar with Kansas City, basically go hundreds of miles in any direction. There's nothing after you leave there. Or we'll count Lawrence, but like not that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So it was, how do we help them? And so we tried. I'm a tech guy, and so we tried to reach rural areas, and it was I would describe it as one of those successful clinical trials that you tried something and it failed, right? Yeah. Because the technology wasn't there, and then picture the guys with prostate cancer. They're not the most tech savvy, you know. They're not young girls, right? They're just not. And so we had played with it, and it didn't work. And then when the podcasting came along, that changed our reach in a certain way, because obviously there was no boundary to podcasting. And then COVID happened. And then we went online because of the stuff we had for podcasting. We had everything we needed.
Okay.
Zoom was our best tool for podcasting.
Right.
So we'd been Zooming for years before COVID. And so that changed the boundaries. And then we didn't want to lose people online. And so ever since COVID, we've been hybrid.
Okay.
So it's basically the same experience whether you come in person or online.
Yeah.
It's just one meeting.
So guys from anywhere in the country, if they want to join in online.
Yeah, it's about half and half, half local, half away.
Yeah. Great. And now I know I've been to some of the meetings. I've had fun presenting at some of the meetings. What do you guys talk about? What kinds of things are guys wanting to talk about at those meetings?
They need to have a place not to talk to the doctors. Well, let me back it up. So we have speakers about half the time. So there are people that are professionals there to talk on various subjects: exercise, sex, cancer treatments. You know, there's over physical therapy. There's a slate of subjects, but at least half of the time we don't. And when I say we don't have an agenda. We don't have speakers. And we go around the room, and people are very polite as far as not talking over each other. And guys open up and share their stories. I think it's kind of healing to share, especially those first times, because they can talk to other guys who've gone through the same thing. So they can't talk to their kids about it and go, well, you understand. They might be supportive, but they're not going to understand. They can't talk to their wife about it and think she's going to go, yeah, I know exactly what that's like. So they get to talk to some other people that have gone through. Sometimes it's they just got diagnosed and they're trying to figure it out. that is a really ideal scenario for those guys that have got the scary diagnosis and they don't know what they're going to do yet. Maybe because there's a whole bunch of steps. You got to go through all these different tests to figure out exactly what you got before you decide what to do. Or you've decided, you know, here's my diagnosis, but there's 4 options.
Yeah.
And there's these 3 places. We are an ideal setting for that because we've got some tried and true advice. I can't take credit for it, but I've mined it over the years. Slow down. This is going to be the hardest time in your life to slow down because everybody thinks, oh, I got cancer. I've got to do something right away. Yes, you do need to do something. Don't have to do it right away. In fact, you don't want to jump without, you want to get confident. You want to take the time to get confident that you understand the situation. You understand what you're going to go through. You're confident in what you're going to do. You're confident in where you're going to have it and who's going to do it.
Yeah.
And once you reach that confident point, then you dive in and you go through it, and that gives you the best possible outcome because then there is no do-over. There is no, because I think there's a lot of people that have done that. I jumped in too fast, and they're like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it doesn't matter that you feel that way now because there is no do-over.
Yeah.
So if you can get that confident, then you really do get a different outcome. And so we're the ideal situation because you can relate to these guys, and you also will hear that just because somebody, you know, everybody who has a good outcome will say what they did and where they did it is the world's greatest. Yeah. That's not the answer. Everybody out there is trying to solve this, right? It's an individual, and you would think after all these years and all the thousands of guys that it came through, there would be some sort of pattern. I wish I could say there was. I feel like every single diagnosed person is a unique situation. You know, us humans are really complicated.
Yes.
Real
We are.
And so I feel like the guys that it's a mix of like newly diagnosed guys and guys that have been through it. And those guys that have been through it that are using our meetings as a way to help pay it forward. Yeah. They are so gifted at this. Yeah. And, you know, you would think, and you're not going to see it because it's when there's just the guys there. They open up, especially if they share this is hard or, you know, this is suck. They're the most supportive, nicest guys. Yeah. And they don't know each other before they walk in, but they leave like, I can't wait to buy you Starbucks is how it always plays out. Yeah.
I think that's what blew me away after that first meeting, because I saw a group created by men for men in a way that works for men. And I learned more in that meeting. I don't know if I told you this. I learned more in that meeting than I probably ever have in all my continuing education about prostate cancer. You know, treatments, medication, these are just guys talking. And the day-to-day, what is it like living with this? What are my struggles? And I was blown away. It's like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. And how can I help support the cause? So I jumped in, and here we are.
Yeah, and you know, I've enjoyed watching people leverage. So the core thing we're about is having these meetings. We do other things, but the core thing is those meetings. We could basically end every other activity that we're involved with, and it might be a little sad here or there, but it wouldn't change our mission, right? Our mission is to hold those meetings and to help all those guys. And we've let people leverage that. You're an example, right? You found ways to help other guys, right? Totally on mission for us, right? Yeah. And there are so many others like you, people that are doing research.
Yeah.
I've had doctors, and I love this. I've had doctors who are trying to find answers to things, ask me to pose some questions. Mm-hmm. And I have. And I think it's fascinating how we're just a uniquely created space to get those guys talking. And you would never get it. You would never do some online survey. You would never have somebody in a doctor's office setting reveal what they do. But when they're all, this is like this core, this issue, only on this issue, it's a great resource. I think this made the world a better place.
Sounds like a very safe space for them.
Yeah.
To share. And I know I often, in fact, just last week, referred someone to, hey, there's this group, Prostate Network. I often will get guys who call in. Maybe they haven't had their treatment yet. Maybe they know someone who said, hey, talk to Laura. She knows about this. But their problem right then is, oh my gosh, I've just gotten diagnosed. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to figure out some answers. And I can say, hey, I want you to go to this website, or I want you to call this guy. His name's Steve. And just talk. Just talk. And sometimes, and sometimes I hear back from them. They say, wow, Steve spent all that time just talking me off the ledge. Because I was scared. I wasn't thinking straight. And now I just feel so much better mentally, because the emotional toll this takes is pretty heavy. And having someone to process that with is, I think, so, so, so important, because that's not my thing. That's not what I do.
Right. And
I can be a guide, and I can...
You got to work on the physical therapy part.
Right. Yeah.
And the doctor's got to work on the cancer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We do the other parts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that collaboration is super, super helpful. So if somebody wanted to get involved with the group, it's like, hey, this sounds good for me, or maybe for somebody I know. How do they go about finding it or signing up for it? How does that work?
It's Prostate Network. It's the prostatenetwork.org website, any socials, the App Store, your podcast. It's all Prostate Network.
Okay.
And
when are their meetings?
It's the first Wednesday of every month, 6:30 p.m. And I would suggest that many of these guys, if you're one of the guys out there that have this, we're sorry, put your email in. Mm-hmm. You'll get an invite. Even if you don't want to come, there's still stuff in the newsletter you might want to see. We're not going to spam you. It's like once a month we send something out. We've never sold anything. Nobody's ever made a penny. It's a very unique organization. Like literally to this day, we've existed all these years. Mm-hmm. And it's just been people that have contributed in various ways, right? We've had people donated money, and we can use that. We've had people donate their TV show. People donated their magazine. People have put our stuff in lobbies. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you want to help, if you have an idea, it's probably a good one. Mm-hmm. And we'll probably say yes, Yeah. So it's really, people bring different things to the table, right? Yeah. And I think that it's probably one of the things I'm most proud of is how we've created this. We've created it's a space, but it's been done in such a way that literally everybody that comes across it is like, if they wanted to, they can become part of it. Mm-hmm. They can help. And I think how vast and how wide of different things is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, that it is. That it is. Well, thank you so much. I hope you all who are listening, if you're listening and you are struggling with prostate cancer, I do encourage you, contact the website, prostatenetwork.org. Either talk to Steve, sign up for the newsletter, ask for that support, because it is very, very worthwhile. So I appreciate that
the men
met.
The men who get support
got this started.
have a better health outcome.
Yeah.
The ones who internalize
Absolutely.
it struggle. And don't struggle needlessly, right? This is hard enough.
Yeah.
Even when you get all of everything, you get the physical therapy and you get the support and you get the good cancer care, it still sucks.
Yeah.
Don't skip any of these steps. Don't make it harder than it needs to be.
No man should walk the journey alone.
Those who try fail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So guys, don't walk the journey alone. There is help available. So thank you very much, Steve.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you found it very empowering, very healing. Stay tuned because we're going to continue this episode with a very exciting update that is fairly new and is in both our worlds of helping guys with prostate cancer. And I can't wait to have Steve share it with you. Thank you for listening to the show. Drop in a comment and let us know how you liked this last episode. Do you have questions? Or do you want to connect with us further? Perhaps you're ready to take that next step. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Pelvic Connection with Laura McKaig PT. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Laura McKaig PT, or visit our website at www.pelvicconnection.com to discover our online programs and resources or how to work with us in person. Here's to your pelvic health.